In this section, we'll examine the traditional methods that have been used to protect the data of small businesses. Now, in essence, there's been a lack of, frankly, good options to protect small business information, and this has been for a host of reasons. Now, either the things are too complicated or they're too expensive, or they didn't really cover many other things that can happen to data in a small business. Or frankly, it was just something that was a big hassle and therefore not well implemented. So let's look at what some of the general options hitherto that have been available to small businesses actually are. Number one is the good old USB. Now, the price of USB drives has fallen dramatically. Now, I hate to admit it, but when I first got into this industry, a terabyte was a crazy big storage device, a number that we daren't even really think about. It would take thousands of washing machine-sized disk systems to store that amount, and it would fill an entire warehouse. I remember as a young sales guy in the UK, we once had to close a street to deliver 10 gigabytes, and it went in by crane. Anyway, today you can get a terabyte drive in an electronic retailer for, what, $100 or so? The downside is that USB drives aren't exceedingly reliable. That's not what they're built for business reliability. And they're easily misplaced. They're often actually stored right next to the computer, which doesn't really help you from a backup perspective. Using a USB drive for backups usually means that someone has to think about backing up their computer, which, let's be honest, and I just suffered this, doesn't happen all the time. And when you do it, you feel a real doofus. Another challenge with the old USB disk is that it generally sits next to the computer, as I said. And a good example recently was when Francis Ford Coppola, he learned of this challenge himself when a thief stole his MacBook, and the USB drive was with it, and he lost a whole creative work in process in its entirety there and then. So, some challenges. The next classification of backup devices is the, if you like, the even more traditional removable media, CDs and DVDs. These are low-cost storage targets for backup. But they're usually limited in capacity, and more importantly, they're usually limited in their lifespan. They're generally used to back up a single system, so everyone has to handle their own data protection processes. Yes, being removable is a good thing, but again, most users, I'm one, don't have the time or the interest, if you like, the personal process or memory capabilities, and that's certainly me as I get older, to remember to either do it or to take them off-site and get them out of harm's way. So backup to CDs or DVDs is still a manual process, and most manual processes fall way down the list of priorities in a small business. I know, that's me again. The last category, tape drives with or without autoloaders, is the most common small business alternative. The low cost and high capacity of tape makes it an excellent choice for making backup copies of important business information. Once again, it's portable, and it's stored in a cartridge that protects the contents to some degree. But tape backup is a technology that businesses love to hate. Implementing a tape backup process, once again, is very manual for the small business, and restoring from tape, assuming it even works, is very time-consuming. Users, once again, rarely take the tapes off-site, and when they do, they don't have any idea of when they should reuse a tape or throw it out, because they don't know when the tape is worn out, and since things always look like they're working fine, at least on the system level, when it comes time to recover files from the tape, they might not even be readable. And another vital thing, while all these methods are okay for backup purposes, so I'm being kind and saying they all work, despite the drawbacks, they're totally impractical when it comes to being used as an online archive. So, clearly there's an opening for a new method. First, that method is going to have to simply cope with fast growth and the growing need. I mean, files are everywhere. There's lots of file data, other data, and it's typically hard to find. Second, you're going to need something that's going to facilitate decent, flexible online access when you do need to recover things or get data back. And third, and perhaps most importantly, you need to do all this in a robust and top quality fashion. A smaller relative scale in your business does not translate to a relatively lesser need from, or a need to protect, the data within your business. Please now view the other chapters in this video briefing on SAFE.